Hello there. Gonna pull up something here. Hi, this is Instructor Carlo. Pull the mic down because it might be a little sensitive there. What's going on? Today's Chill Saturday. Right? The reason I call that is because you get to see more of the dude here. Right? Throughout my other videos, I'm more laid back. I'm more. I have more structure, right, and more professional. But today we're gonna keep it real, right? Real fun. And so go ahead. We're gonna warm up. Let's go ahead and get started. Less yep, more punch. Start here. Let's get some water. Make sure you have your fluids. Make sure you're stretched out. Let's go ahead and start with a stretch here. I'm going to be stretching each leg here. You can just put the foot out, making sure that the back is straight. And we're just going to reach out. If you have something to grab onto, that's great. If not, just go ahead and keep the hands out. We're going to stretch out just a little bit. And here. Same thing here, keeping the back straight. Couple different components to keep in mind when stretching. Keeping your breathing, keeping things relaxed. Developing your game plan. Now, for the sake of time of this video, just for stretching prior, but I recommend that you do at least 45 seconds to a minute on each stretch per body part. And what that does is eventually over time, it will build up flexibility. If you can't get to that point, immediately do not fret. It will happen, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with just some warm-ups, just throwing some punches. You don't have to worry about throwing that knockout punch. But as we're doing this, once again, one hand replaces the other. That's a Kung Fu principle here. I love Adam Su, right? But here, one hand replaces the other. And then just some light kicks, starting very low. And then you can eventually build up. What's good for the right is good for the left. I'm working on my left here. This is a good exercise. Come up with 2 or 3 areas that you want to work on. The weak spots. Usually it's our left. And eventually I'll do a video on the southpaw, from southpaw stance, right? And I actually love that stance if you're going southpaw. It may feel weird at first, but eventually, within a couple weeks, right, left is as good as the right. You might even prefer the left. Right? There's a lot of neurological processes that are involved, and a lot of growth and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and continue with our kicks. Move it up. Just getting our power from the ground and just letting things loosen up. We can even go higher. Right? We can go from the inside. Here. Right. Kicking the wall there. As you can see, I have a little bit of a limited space. Trying to make sure you have an open space that you can practice. On the flip side, I will say, as a practitioner, it's great practice in terms of having a small space. I had an instructor that said, all you need is a space, like a 2x2 or 3x3 space to practice, right? It's kind of like doing some workouts, so you bring some equipment with you when you're on the road, you do your workouts and things like that. Same thing with martial arts. As long as you have a space like this, doesn't matter the type of martial art, even if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you can work. Let's go ahead and continue here. Come here. And as I'm talking, you can keep doing the exercises, right? Because you're going to need lots of kicks. And here. All right, if you feel like you have more power, you can put in more power. Okay. Above the bag. Right here, 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 here. Right? Practice keeping your hands up. Good practice. Here's good. Here, here. Usually we're in this stance, so here, 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 here. Back. Okay. So you have your water. Okay. So today we're going to cover two aspects here: both stance punch, horse stance punch, and how to improve our leg strength through Tai Chi. Both of these exercises are great in terms of loosening up, strengthening the legs, right? Loosening up the body, right? That's at least for the Tai Chi training aspect. But let's go ahead and hop into this. We're just going to do a couple warm-up moves. So a basic 1-2 will never do you wrong. Right? It's just jab followed by a power hit. If you're on your right, or it doesn't matter what side. Right? Most likely people are right-handed. It's a good thing to keep in mind when you're fighting. Just cross and cross. Right, right, left, left. Right, right, left, left. Okay? It's a good way of remembering. Right, left. Right, left. Okay? So let's go ahead and continue with our warm-ups. Feel free to utilize whatever punches you like to warm up. Right? Not everything's going to be perfect. Right. I'm going to pull someone down to the ground, grab them, fall back. Okay, warm up with the legs. Okay, how you feeling? Full solar plexus breathing. Don't lock the knees. Locking the knees is bad, okay? Nothing goes through when you lock the knees. Always keep the knees bent. When resting, when active. You can rest the knees and the legs when you sit down. Right? You can straighten out your legs if you're sitting on the ground and you're doing some toe touches. So, horse stance punch, bow stance punch. I'll have some information on this in regards to the history and horse stance punch, bow stance punch. Very big in Asian martial arts and all the different styles, right? And particularly, at least what I teach is from the Kung Fu standpoint, right? And with that, right, and not saying there's a right way or a wrong way. What you want to do is find out what works best for you, right? Try out the different horse stances. Even the horse stance that I do, I've modified it just slightly, and it works for me, right? Having the basic principles, right? Or even just basic principles in general, which cover, right, a multitude of arts, right? A multitude of martial arts. So here, right, in order to work on our horse stance, bow stance, we want to always keep our back straight, okay? And you want to envision that you're sitting, right? So usually, right, our stance is about a foot shoulder length apart. So one good way to determine how wide your stance should be, you can put your foot out as so, and then you're going to go 1 foot, 2 feet, turn it around, 3 feet, 4 feet. That's how wide your horse stance should be here. Okay? And so as I'm practicing this, I'm keeping a couple things in mind. I'm here, my feet are pointed forward. Sometimes they're, so you can see here, sometimes they're pointed out, right? But here, and this space is a little limited, but normally when I practice, I keep the feet straight. The hips, the knees point to the feet. The thighs are rounded, right? So you want a rounded action, right? Which creates the structure. And the buttocks is tucked in. The tailbone is tucked in. So feet, knees, hips, tailbone. And then from here you can adjust, right? You might be able to only start off here at first, then slowly you'll be able to get down. Now, you can train how you want to train. A lot of times I do train for time, and whatever the case may be, just personal best and whatnot. But my advice is you don't have to train like however you might see in films or whatever the case may be. You don't have to hold that horse stance for 20 hours. If anything, try to see how long you can hold it, do 3 sets, and then try it the next day. And then slowly build. And I need to work myself, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slowly build up. But you follow those principles. Feet are straight, knees are straight, hips are here, here. Now, you might ask, why do I need to know that? Right? What benefits are there to that stance? Am I going to get down that low? Maybe. I've gotten down that low, right? And you're on different levels with your opponent. Right? There's a component to that, right? I find that it really does help with leg strength in general, which is what you always need in martial arts. It doesn't matter what art, right? If anything, if you're in a grappling art that requires more of the inner muscles here, right? The inner thigh muscles, the adductor and abductor muscles of the thigh, right? The gracilis and all those other muscles in that area, right? Abductor magnus, right? And magnus longus and brevis, and going into anatomy here. So strengthening these muscles here, this stance may help, right? Because you're elongating things, you're strengthening, and you can even add a little bit of a squeeze in order to really work those muscles, okay? So there's a benefit for everyone. I think part of it is utilizing what you have and not being limiting in terms of what's useful. So from there, horse stance, bow stance. Now I'm going to show you from here because, once again, depending on the space, you're going to have to adjust. We train for all different scenarios, right? But you adjust and use according to what the situation calls for. So if I'm here, bow stance, good bow stance, you're going to have a strong back foot. The knee's going to be slightly bent, but straightened. The leg is straightened, with the knee slightly bent. I think that's a good way to emphasize. And what it does is, if you want to even take it a step further, you can envision, right, in your head, you usually have your mind down here in your hips, in that dantian area. We bring our mind and we breathe. Same area we breathe into, we bring our thinking into. We sink our shoulders into. Okay, we bring everything down to that area, and then it sinks into the feet. You have a nice rooted base. So I'm here, right? We add one more component. You can even feel the pressure going down into the heel, from the heel into the ground, right? The back of the heel and the ball of the foot pressing into the ground. You press into the ground, it gives you your power back. And you're here. Hips are forward towards our opponent, and front foot is facing forward, and the knee never extends past the toe, right? Once again, the knee never extends past the toe. Part of training with martial arts, as well, is that we don't injure ourselves. Okay, usually any kind of movement where the knee extends past the toes, right, in an unreasonable sense, right, it is cause for knee injury, right, or certain types of any type of injury, right. So we want to be careful, and then eventually, as you ease into things and you become more comfortable, it becomes second nature. So once again, this stand here more with this bow stance. I'm facing forward, right? I have about a 90-degree angle here at the foot and the ankle. The knee is straight. I'm standing here, and I'm here. Now we're going to shift right back to horse stance. Horse stance, bow stance. Horse stance, bow stance. Horse stance, bow stance. Other way. Horse stance, bow stance. Horse stance, bow stance. Horse stance, bow stance. Horse stance, bow stance. And whenever we practice horse stance punch, bow stance punch, it's usually we're practicing the form. We're punching, we're utilizing a lot of the principles, the body, the feet, the linear motion of energy. From here, connecting here to the beat, not linear, right? The dynamic movement, which goes throughout the body and filters throughout the strike, right? Or however, whatever you're utilizing. With this, it also gives new perspective because, you know, with the introduction of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the idea of defending yourself on your back, defending yourself, you know, from a face-up position and seeing it as an advantage rather than a disadvantage, one, should make you think about a lot of other things, right, which you see as a disadvantage, but maybe as an advantage, right? And two, it gives us a different type of energy to work with, right? And once again, that analogy or the reference in terms of the masters who may not practice that, or practitioners, or anyone who doesn't necessarily have the good groundwork or any kind of practice in that, right? Never even tried it, right? Dismisses it, right? Most likely will look like a fish out of water, right? A fish without oxygen, right? If taken to the ground, right? and that's like with the legs flopping, you know. So, so I'm very honest on this channel, and very hopeful that we'll all come to a good conclusion for everyone in terms of providing the space and the knowledge and things like that for everyone to do the art that they find is most beneficial to them and their self-defense and health and fitness and everything. Okay, so we're going to practice some forward stance punch, both stance punch, and then hop into it, right? So here, forward stance punch, both stance punch, forward stance punch, both stance punch, forward stance punch, both stance punch. Okay, other side. We're here. Shoulders are relaxed. Forward stance punch, forward stance punch, forward stance punch, forward stance punch. Okay, shifting with the waist and the feet in this combination of pushing and getting the energy from the ground and using your hips and everything just aligning themselves, right? Everything aligning themselves. So let's go ahead and practice on the back here. Just grab some water. Go ahead and grab some water. Okay, let's go ahead and try it on the back here. Forward stance punch. Once again, you're going to have to adjust here. Maybe you can't get all the way down. It's okay. I'm here. This is a good position because a lot of times, sometimes you might see someone and they might just be like, hey, buddy, what's going on? Right? Same thing. Here. Here. Okay? Forward stance punch. Both stance punch. Forward stance punch. Both stance punch. Forward stance punch. Both stance punch. Both stance punch. Both stance punch. Okay? We're up. Right? It's okay. Right? See if we miss this one. Right? Who doesn't miss one? That's why I love having this channel, because you know what? Yeah, perfection is great. Okay? And we're going to get there. Okay? But to show a slight imperfection means you're human. And anyone can be human. Okay? And anyone? It takes a special person to be human. It takes a special. You get what I'm saying.
I like that.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. You can feel power. Maybe I might have to adjust a little bit. Right? Here, both stance punch. Forward stance punch. Both stance punch. Forward stance punch. Now you might ask, but why am I punching from here? Okay. Number one, it's not, maybe you might be in a situation where you punch from this area. That's okay. A lot of people have different fighting styles, more distance, more power, right? Second thing is, it teaches you that the power comes from the hips. Here, here, the pinky touching the hip. Here, here, here. Doesn't matter if you're here, 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 here. Okay, that's horse stance punch, bow stance punch in real life action. To really apply it, might be so quick you don't even see it. The basic 1-2. Once again, who doesn't have a 1-2? Right? You add a 3 to it, you're good. Right? We call those combos. So once again, here, 1, 2. Okay? There's principle to it. Take the training, apply some principles, okay? Apply it in training, try it out, come up with something, see if it works, apply, do it again, apply. One thing I'm missing here is, right, the student beat up, right? Get over here. We'll get into another video. Running a martial arts school is no joke. Commonality, right? There's always commonalities behind everything. And one thing I have seen, it does not matter what kind of school it is. Kung Fu school, Jiu-Jitsu school. Let me see, how many other schools can I name here so I can include everyone, right? You know, I just want to say, just so that we can touch all bases, running a school is not easy, right? Even here in the States, right, in the United States, getting people into fitness, getting people into themselves, and just the aspect of what is our economy and how we do things, and maybe even culturally it's a little bit there's differences and a lot of different things, right? It's not easy, right? And I've seen across the globe, right? For someone who has mastered their art and has something to share and build up something that's credible, right, and able to support themselves and their family, right? For everyone, school owners, fighters, MMA fighters, professional fighters, whatever the case may be, right? Professional athletes, a little bit different on that end, but it's always it's not as easy as people think, right? Just I'm gonna do this, put up a sign, do that. For some people and styles and all that other fun stuff, maybe it might come a little bit easier, but in the end, it's always hard work, right? And the quality will always show, right? In the instruction and how the care for the school and the community, right? A lot of good things. So once again, I wanted to do a little bit more, right? And less talking so we can focus and, right? So the other aspect, let me see first, is how do we use Tai Chi? I'm just going to hop into this real quick. How do we use Tai Chi in order to strengthen legs? Here we have our Tai Chi stance, where the feet are usually about shoulder length apart, the hips are tucked in, the feet are relaxed, pointed straight, pointed forward, knees are pointed forward, aligned with the feet, hips are tucked in, and we still create this rounding action, okay? But we can use stance training and just, even here, if we're just relaxing the arms, right? Or you can do an embracing the tree movement where we keep the arms up and everything's relaxed. We're here. And you can adjust. Here you might start off here with the legs slowly bent and then eventually come here, right? Once again, great for leg strength, right? Great. Right? I have to do that there. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And so, a lot of this bending too, it's used in a lot of these movements as well. If you're doing things like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, judo, sports, whatever the case may be, submission grappling, you're utilizing a lot of these movements and a lot of the curls of the foot. Even doing things like I have over 10 years clinical healthcare experience, and I know a lot of providers who work on the ankles and things like that. They'll maybe prescribe alphabets, right? To write with your ankle. I had a friend, a chiropractor, who recommended that, do the alphabet. And, it's just all these little quirks that will help your overall game, right? That's what we're here about. Help you to learn something, help you to improve. I know this video is a little bit longer, but I wanted it to. Right, so kind of enough with a little bit of sparring here. Now, once again, get some water if you need. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like doing fun things. 1, 2, 3. Keep the leg up. Up. And right. You gotta switch it up, right? Wish you all a great day.